surfing. Rashes. Oh, yeah. Baby, I can't get enough. Blitz. Ain't that surf presents
Pure tour nerdism.
Wow. Woohoo! Gee-hoo!
Yes, welcome to Blitzed Pure Tour Nerdism. Vaughan, the Burleigh Bonsoy Pro, is a rap, and fuck me sideways if it wasn't one of the all-time great contests I've ever borne witness to. Wow!
Woohoo!
Wow!
You! Wow.
Kidding me?
Oh, man.
Psycho out there.
Oh, what a comp, Smithy. What a comp.
Mate, what a comp. Scored very, very high on the Shat rating, a 4.99 out of 5. I docked him a point, a point
a
one, 0.01. And because, I'm not afraid to dock points. I'm not afraid to dock. I'm not afraid to peg. And I'll tell you, there was a brief moment there where I felt like pegging a few of those WSL judges to the wall. But after chatting to you today, I've seen the light and balanced out my view on the Filipe Toledo, the controversial 9.07 in the final that robbed our Jules of an incredible boil-over victory. All things considered, we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
But, I think ultimately the right guy did win the contest. Look, one of the great surf contests of all time, and one of the great TV spectacles too, in the flesh, on the telly. Like, you couldn't lose with this event. Ronnie was on fire. I love the intensity that he brought to the call when the moments that mattered arose. I thought he was just like, he just brought that intensity that you expect from big sporting occasions, and he brought it to the broadcast. Yourself, Vaughan, I thought you captured the moment and the madness of what was going down there on the rocks beautifully. It was fucking pandemonium at times. So good. And I think that a lot of the time we complain about pro surfing being a pretty poor television product just because of the lulls and the lack of action at times. Well, mate, a mid-period swell on a Gold Coast point break, there is no lack of action. It was relentless. There was buzzer beaters and final exchange victories galore. The absolute outer limits of glitch cone, novelty cone, tube riding, the full gamut of high performance, carves, lip attacks, big punts in every conceivable direction, up, oop, reverse, slob. This event had it all, man. And you were on the ground. What was it like?
Yeah. So, fuck, man. Atmosphere-wise, it was as good as it gets. Like, as far as surfing as a spectator sport goes, Burleigh Heads is number one. The only time I've ever felt anything like it in that realm was when it was Mick versus Kelly in the final at Bells on Easter Sunday, the day that, MP had died, or the day of his memorial. And that was the closest it's come. And that was two full alpha pigs just basically pumping away in the bushes in front of everyone, like just trying to go each other so hard. And this was the first time I'd seen that sort of energy in the final too, like real bullish shit going on, and bringing the sport to it. And fuck, mate, surfing has a hard time being this sort of like, counterculture, futurist fucking experience on top of trying to be a sport as well. But when it does connect perfectly like that, it is as good as any other sport, I reckon.
Mate, not many other sports get me fully howling at the TV, screaming at the TV. Spent the round of 16 there and then had to go home for finals day. And, mate, I was really grateful for the viewing experience and to really cop it, back to back with rugby league games so you can really compare the broadcast spectacle. And it was 5 stars. Like, it was as good as any sport you can name on earth. And
the bug one.
The bug one, mate. That's a good point too, man, because it's all going down at the spiritual home, the birthplace of competitive surfing. So it was so synchronized and full circle, and it just felt so right and meant to be. And the waves turned up, and that in itself is a testament to Burleigh the Wave, because the banks are pretty fucking rooted there at the moment. You had 2 like outside Hawaiian style outer banks that were just capping and foaming the whole time, but still managed to produce mental rock runners, filthy drainers, some of the sickest novelty cones you've ever seen. and just
thick ones, dude.
Oh,
Little
mate,
orbular, little fucking nougats.
Oh, just like galactic cylinders. The Kanoa Igarashi wave, the 7.5 against Jules in the semi, I believe it was. We'll get into that. One of my favourite waves of the event of all time. Just the way it was framed up with the people in the background, this galactic grinder with Kanoa all balled up inside of it. Like, there was endless highlights from this event. Yeah, mate, the shot rating off the charts. S for skits, H for hamad, A for, are you kidding me? And T for torture. What did you give it in the end?
I gave it a 5. I just in all the years I've been doing comps, I've never had that much fun just in every element. Even the flare up at the end there in that final, it just came on the back of how much both guys fucking wanted it, especially Julian. Like, mate, it was impossible. He was like Nathan Brown coming off the fence, man, just like raw screaming as he pinned it towards the biggest cunt on the field. And, well, Pip's the smallest, but, in terms of opposition, he's the biggest. I got to the end of it. I actually got halfway through it and I could feel that it was heading that way. I was just going, this is feeling really special. Something's tripping me out here. And I think what it kind of was just basically everyone wanted it to just be the sickest thing ever. And that was the intent, and they delivered. That was the WODs. They got it done. It was pretty special.
So good to see two surfers who, like you said, are proper alphas with a full-blown entitlement complex to win in that event. And I'll tell you why I did Dr. .01. That was because Filipe's, essentially event-winning wave was missed. It happened during an ad break, and then there was a bit of confusion around it. The replay, I'm not sure if they didn't show the takeoff or if I missed the takeoff, but that wave come at me out of nowhere, the biggest single wave score of that heat, and there was just, I was kind of baffled. I was like, whoa, that was a 9. Like, what happened up the point? I assumed that he teed off up the point, but it turns out that the 2 turns I saw was actually the 9. I was kind of confounded by that. I didn't feel like that was a score north of 9 watching it. But as you mentioned, Vaughan, off air, which we can talk about now, what it looked like in the flesh compared to what you saw on TV. Two very different things, especially given that it was a replay. Joe Turpel, his calling of that wave was tepid at best. He didn't see excellence in it either in the call, but maybe he was watching the replay as well. But there was just a lot of confusion around that wave, which was a bit of an error on behalf of that's like it's like the fucking grand final win and try. Like, you can't miss that at an ad break, especially in a sport like surfing where action is at such a premium. So that was a bit of a drop ball, a slight blemish on an otherwise perfectly administrated and broadcasted event. Yeah,
man. So the commentators are watching TV. They're seeing exactly what you see. It's the point. The setup is on the point. You can see all the action going on behind you, but you're sitting there facing a screen and you're just calling off the screen exactly like everyone else. Even in real time, that wave would have been showed to Joe as he was calling the replay, probably in slow motion. I can't remember because I didn't see it, but on the point. I agree. Like, in retrospect, looking back at it, you're kind of like looking at the waves and you're comparing them and you're going, wow, well, fuck, this thing looks kind of nowhere near as good as Julian's, like 3-turn hanger with a fucking air rev on the end. But the difference is that the speed of Toledo in the moment, watching it on the point, and what it felt like then was just pure aggression, pure muscle, Formula One surfing. And you just don't get that when you are following the surfer with the TV camera. You just don't get it. You don't get anywhere near the distance they travel. You don't understand the sort of punchiness of the ride, particularly in slow motion, man. It's like the NRL bunker, dude. Like, you just watch something over and over and over and you find more reasons to either believe or not believe what's going on in front of you. But I saw a really cool story that I think Jack O'Neill wrote for Stab, and he sort of like puts it to a few crew, expert crew, Fanning, Taj Burrow, and TB makes the point. He's like, man, you just don't get speed. You've got no idea watching the screen just how fast crew are going, how hard they're hitting the lip, and in real time, when you saw that wave and you heard the crowd go off, it felt like in Origin when someone makes a break. It had that sort of energy to it. And it was so fucking steep and fast and put together in this one line. It was over before you even knew what you were looking at. And he was like, you know, he's got that ability to get kind of air off lips and just stomp these finishes that just have so much drama to them. In retrospect, like looking back at it, it's hard to sort of see how that wave could score higher than Julian's best wave. But it just, in real time, man, it actually felt psycho. It looked psycho. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, totally. And I think it was just the lack of emotion and energy that came through the broadcast that kind of undersold it to those of us watching on TV. And there was a lot of bafflement out there in the surf punditry and surf public about that score. It blew some minds.
You just, like, the speed difference between Julian and Filipe was really obvious in the heat of watching it. But the power difference, you know, the muscle of Julian's carving turns to link was a huge separation between him and Filipe as well. Feels like so quick and it's all so perfect. It's all so knifey. But Julian's got a bit of like thug about him where like the blows look kind of like bigger and heavier, like speedball versus heavy bag kind of shit. It was crazy.
I think the right surfer still won the heat. And the judges were unanimous in that. There was some serious like scope in the scores they were dishing out though, like particularly around the slob air reverse. We can get into that in a bit more detail, but yeah, like we do have to kind of figure out where the scale should be between a full road air reverse, a slob air reverse that isn't full road, you know, which is more technical, which has a higher degree of difficulty. I'm not the best person to ask about that. I have heard it said that, you know, air reverses, the full road, it's a more natural rotation. Like straight airs have sometimes a higher degree of difficulty than a full road air reverse. I think Callum Robson was saying that on the broadcast just because the way the hips explode out of lip, there's a natural kind of rotation to that. The slob air reverse, the way it inverts the tail, you just don't see them done. Like you don't see technical grabs in the mix with rotations very often, which says to me that there's a super high degree of difficulty in that maneuver that's not really understood by anyone other than those who can do them, and not many people can. So yeah, I do wonder, like the split there between Jules's, it came in under the 8.33 that Toledo dropped for the full road air at an 8.1. I think two judges gave him the nod though, gave him an 8.5 and an 8.3. It's a moot point in a lot of ways because neither of those scores counted in the end. They were both thrown away. Yeah. But mate, incredible heat.
Yeah, look, the air thing is definitely a funny one. Like, it's all like the big straight air that Jules did, the big one. Oh yeah, like that thing had everyone just jaws on the floor kind of moment. You know, like that was crazy. And the thing with the slobs and the technical airs is like, yeah, they have a degree of difficulty that, as you say, that only the people who can do them kind of understand that technical difference. But like, the slob air reverse is such a cool looking turn. But then if you look at Filipe's 10, for example, like there's a point in that air where you can see on his face that he's lost himself in the rotation a bit. But he's that quick-footed and that able to sort of make these micro adjustments in the moment that he just stomps it that clean. And like, you know, at that stage, the technical air thing just kind of goes out the window because it's like it's so, even by his standards, such a fucking like such a good one. And I just think that's really what it comes down to. Like, if Julian had done something like a stale fish air reverse, like a turn that nobody can do except for maybe him and maybe Joel Vaughan, maybe Al Cleland, not sure.
Yeah. But in this iteration, Chloe was a specialist at him.
But the slob is, that's a turn that's been done in heats for a long time. AI was doing them forever, so I don't know.
Yeah, slob air reverses though.
Maybe not slob air reverse, but I mean, Andy was definitely doing big slobs.
Slob straighties. Yeah. It's a natural kind of grab to go to.
Yeah.
I think what got Jules the score was not necessarily the slob, but just a pure height. Like, and it's a good point that you make. Like, big and buttery.
Height and huck it.
Yeah, beats
the
smaller
technical
and technical. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right, but that's the way the judges see it, and I guess that's the metric to abide by. Best wave. Let's get into it. Toledo's 10. Most of the points had to come from the alley-oop. It was a sick pit, but not super deep. But the oop on a fully draining 4-foot nugget projected out of the end bowl of the tube, got the full rote, sticks it in the lip of a 4-foot dredging, like almost below sea level Burleigh nug, and pulls it down out of the trough for the make. Like, fucked up. Really.
Oh, man.
That wave was so critical and consequential in terms of being able to get a make on a turn like that.
The pit he was going so fast in that thing, man. Like, I don't even know if he had a choice. Like, there was no double arm dragging in that thing. Like, it was slurping away like freaking... use your imagination there. But it was slurping, Smithy. It was slurping, bro. And Filipe was getting well and truly sucked off on that one because he fucking came out with that much speed.
Oh, yeah.
And, how's, again, the quick twitch... So it's not just reflex for him. It's like his brain recognizes in micro nanosecond time that there's a fucking opportunity there. And he just sort of like siphons up all that speed and just flicks it off the perfect little bean. And man, oh man, fuck, it was so cool. That landing was out of this world, man. Like 9 times out of 10, I don't reckon he makes it. He's just that full of fucking juice that he just stomps that thing. Mental moment.
The end bowl of the tube is the tailor-made ramp for alley-oops, and I would imagine that even when he's in that thing going light speed, he's already thinking, the end bowl of this thing's going to be so souped up and perfectly tapered for a big full road oop. So that's the planning of the guy. Like, he's getting fully throated, but already thinking of a skits full road on the end bowl.
And how often do you see it, though? Like, this is some weird cosmic bolt of lightning that hits you when you're in the barrel, I reckon. Because even the biggest pond scum fucking pretender, like, you and me, if we get good barrels, you can often do the best cutty of your life after a barrel. Like, you're just in such a state of euphoria that everything's turned on and you can do stuff like that. I think back to, like, Tom Carroll coming out of barrels at Pipeline, instead of claiming it, just jagging his, like, fucking 7-foot Rawson pintail knifiest board through the most heinous cutback in history. Like, magic things happen when you come fanging out of a tube at high speed. And he's got that on lock, old Pippy Phil.
A few notable mentions for best wave. Yeah, as mentioned, Julian's humongous straighty, big slob against Marco Mignon in the round of 16. And that was an important move because Marco's just been putting so much pressure on big names through his own aerial attack. Julian drops the 8.5 for that and then combos it with a 9.5 for a run of like sick carves, slashes and snaps punctuated by a dreamy drainer for the highest combined total of the event, an 18.00. That was a masterclass right when he needed to produce it because Marco Mignon is a fucking bona fide giant killer. Kanoa Igarashi, he answered Jules' effort with a big straighty of his own. That was fucking mental. He was in incredible form and took some serious beating Jules and his semi. Again, another wave that we identified at the top of the show, that 7.5 for the dreamy galactic drainer. Just one of the great Burleigh contest barrels. You've seen a couple of water shots. I think of MR, MP in similar-ish kind of cones. But this thing, on thrusters in this day and age, like they're weaving through multiple sections. The body positioning is unbelievable. And just like, I really dug watching the way they're able to manhandle barrels of that size. Like the tube riding in this event was surreal at times. Kanoa's opening wave against hometown hero Liam O'Brien in the round of 16, like just a fucking impossible tube to make. Packs it, comes from super deep, the thing chandeliers, fills up with foam, and he just manufactures this glitch cone exit. Like, he had such a good line into the thing, and when they get that good line in, it almost doesn't matter what happens after. Like, they're coming through whatever it is, like fucking Peter Sterling through a paper mache banner in the Los Angeles ill-fated state of origin. I think Tom Whitaker said very well behind me, like, oh, he needed a snorkel in there. He was dead set, huffing whatever oxygen he could get. He was stuck in the washing machine for so long, got the make, and that was a massive wave in the context of that heat. If he doesn't get that make, he's not winning that heat.
Yeah.
Liam O'Brien surfed incredibly throughout the event and it left no stone unturned in that round of 16 clash in trying to get the win. He pushed right to the death. Incredible performance from the lob with a parochial home crowd. Fuck, man. Geordie Smith's wave under priority against Jow.
Yeah.
The most stepped out, doubled up, square little 3-footer that he was dead set on top of. Like, I was watching that live going, oh, fuck, he's not going to get into this thing. You kind of can't. And you know, I've seen Geordie do this, particularly when there's stepped out hollow waves. I've watched him put on clinics at Gas there in Margs. This same kind of deal where he's able to just force his way into square drops and just manage the kind of wheelie down the face and still find an angle and a line into a tube. And he gets the make from such a deep position. That was a fucked up tube ride, man. It was so sick. Endless highlights in the men's. Fuck, it was a clinic, man. It was so fun to watch.
Yeah, it was so cool. Just trying to think of another. Yeah, that Geordie pit was just the way that he entered that barrel, like the guillotine. It's a little tiny guillotine, and it just you can feel it just shave hair off his shoulders as he pulls in, and he just gets the cleanest nug. But the Burleigh barrel itself is such a satisfying tube to watch because it fully doubles up. It bends in on itself a bit. It's kind of like, it can be smaller on the inside. It's almost got like a little shippy's ledge sort of happening with this sort of thick back on it. I don't know. And it creates also like a much juicier sort of lip to crack as opposed to snapper. Like snapper on low tide can do it, but yeah, I don't know. It seemed a little more like it offered the opportunity for a better translation, for a better interpretation of how to surf a point.
Yeah.
And up the point was kind of like your traditional sort of like cut flow, like get your line from start to finish happening. And then down the point was just these thick little ramps and eggy bits where crew would fucking just drop anchor down there. There were heats where crew didn't even see each other in heats, and that was pretty wild. But yeah, off the top of my dome, man, the other wave that was pretty psycho was Aaron Brooks on the backhand, just fully teeing off.
Oh, mate, that was my wave of the
There is no better. There is, and there never has been, a backhand surfer as good as Aaron Brooks on tour.
It's crazy.
And that's with, like, alt off to Carolyn Marks, bringing a bit of the backside thuggery to it. But no one's pulling the board tighter than EB.
Yeah, nah. Marks is timing and placement and rhythm, but Aaron Brooks is going upside down in barreling cupped out sections.
Clouting the fuck out of the joint, bro.
Man, absolutely pivoting on the thickest of lip lines, dropping back down straight into another bottom turn and viciously attacking the lip line again and again and again and again. The 9.43 for a flurry of uppercuts into the lip line, Mike Tyson style, just head snapping back. Huey just going, pow, ouch, ouch, ouch. And then one of the sick turns that she did was, I think the second turn in that 3-turn flurry, where she kind of, the lip had a slightly different angle to it, and instead of like hitting it straight vert, she kind of hits it vert, but then hooks it as well. So she's got this variation on the fly, like she's just so locked in with her backhand attack, and then down the line, just fucking tagged the absolute shit out of it as the energy waned. Like you said at the start, Vaughan, Burleigh, it does offer this kind of dynamic playing field. It's really unpredictable and fun to watch. There's kind of ribs moving through it that create these crazy little egg sections, but then it'll crumble and close out. And, you know, you've got two outside banks, so it's kind of a reform. But, you know, it's it's not as ruler edge as snapper. It's not like behind the rock pits and then this perfect coping where someone like Medina can just robotically beat the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It's far more hard to predict than that, but throws up trippy galactic shapes, crazy ramps, and it's really about the surfer's ability to read the waves that are coming in, and it creates like just a lot of X factor and really rewards creativity and quick thinking and reflexes.
And pinpoint attack. Like, look at the surfers who really locked in with this comp. You've got Aaron Brooks, whose backside is just so, like, as quick twitch as Filipe's frontside, pretty much. You had Julian, who just sort of was just in a perfect headspace for this thing. Like, whatever was going, Morgs, until he kind of got robbed by the lack of surf and opportunities, like, his surfing was as good as you'll see to perfect placement. Like, everything was just like, what's this wave giving me? And just knowing what to do exactly with that section. Like, it was almost like, how you're saying Medina can just keep bashing and bashing away. This was like, read what's going on, be in flow with that, and respond to it in the moment. And the surfers who did that best were the surfers who ultimately got it done. Even Aleo was doing that, bro.
Yeah. Mate, funny to note too, like, we were there for the warm-up surf, and like the only two things I remember, because we were doing a podcast at the time, was Aleo Muni's like frontside pivot snap into the lip. I remember just going, whoa, fuck, that thing is spicy. Holy shit. Like, I haven't seen that since he was on tour at Snapper like over a decade ago.
Yeah.
I was tripping on it. And Jack Robbo, I watched him like bog 2 end section turns and fall off, and he could not get a completion on the end section of Burleigh. It was so bizarre that the pre-event surf was a perfect reflection of what ended up unfolding in that event. Alejo going all the way to the semis.
And just on Morgs' run too. Like, that guy surfed more Burleigh than just about anyone other than Lobby in the last, like, in Rashies in the last year. He won the 1-star QE that was up there, as did Sophie McCulloch, who got a wild card in this one. He was part of the Merriweather campaign, which only missed out on winning the ABB by like, a bee's dick. Morgs making the error in that one to lose it. And then he must have been getting up here, and just because the odds of Ryan Callanan missing out and Morgs getting a start were pretty low, because Ryan had his baby, and then all of a sudden he just goes, I'm not coming. And fucking Morgs just would have just been going, you little beauty, this is me bread and butter. Like, that's the wave. He's done more heats in this year than anywhere. Psycho, man. He was always going to be a danger with that sort of knowledge of just the different moods, different swells, everything that's going on. And even having made a couple of mistakes, like, it was sitting there for him. Fucking radical, he didn't get through that heat.
Yeah. Oh, man. And when his confidence is up, when his mind's right, he is a top 5 in the world surfer. Like, the surgical precision and aggression of his frontside rail game in particular, and backside too, for that matter. Like, it's as clinical and hard-hitting as any attack on tour. It's just a matter of getting the mind right and the confidence up, and he seems to have unlocked that in these last 2 events.
Definitely.
And I think, I don't know if we discussed this in the Bells Comp review, but part of that has been going back to the workforce, getting back on the tools, and really fucking, we're talking about this, weren't we? Having a gratitude for...
That's it, man.
For being able to compete and surf for a living, but fuck, I love his surfing, man.
So sick. He
sick.
hits the lip, it stays hit. Like, he's one of those guys. Like, he punches, his pound for power ratio is right up there with the best on tour. Like,
he's so on an edge. He's like, the margin for error is nil when you surf like that.
Oh yeah. The way I put it is, like, his bottom turn is redlining always. Like, to the point where when there's a bit more space, you can see his board starting to shudder, like, with speed wobbles as he's flying off the bottom. Because I remember saying that to Steph once when she didn't know anything about him, and she going, oh, what's Morg surf like? And I was like, it's crazy how hard he comes off the bottom. Like, he fucking puts the foot down big time. Like, his foot would go through the floor, Flintstone style, if he put any more juice into it. His boards would just disintegrate as he was coming off. But she was like, oh, that doesn't sound too good. That sounds like a design thing. I'm like, nah, it's not. It's not his board's not coping with it. It's like, that's how hard he attacks it. It's sick, man.
So good. Best heat.
Oh, just on Morgs too.
Yeah.
Sorry. We need to get a campaign going, Smithy, to get this guy a wild card to Margie's because he's in the running for the big car they're giving away, the Great Wall truck.
Mate, it's a great idea.
He's got no, you don't get points if you're a wild card or a trialist. So he's not even on the point score yet. But surely us Swellians could get a Khan Morgs, get him in the treble. Get him a truck. Get him a tank, the poor car.
Fucking oath. Yeah, you could flog that thing secondhand at Burton's down there at Newey and be back on the Chang with money in the pocket to spend on prossies and whatever he wants. Well played. But, it's a bit of an issue, a long-running issue, actually. These kind of triple crowns or trebles. We've seen it happen in Hawaii a bunch of times where people get big results at Haleiwa at Sunset and then they're barred from surfing the pipe comp. So they're at the top of the ratings in the triple crown and then don't get passage into that final event. I think if you're in that kind of form and touch and you're getting the results, fucking give them a crack. Put your money where your mouth is. It's either a treble or a triple crown or it's not.
Yeah. Well, and who doesn't want to see Morgs in that sort of power and that sort of juice?
100%.
You know, like that. That's the way. They're the waves that bring out his best. Like he loves a bit of energy in the water.
Totally. Yeah, best heat for mine, it was the men's final.
Had to be.
Julian Wilson versus Toledo in front of a packed and delirious headland at Burleigh, one of the great moments in modern competitive surfing.
Burleigh de Janeiro too. There was thousands of Zillas up on the hill, Smithy. Thousands of them. Chanting, kicking, playing volleyball, fucking playing fresco bar. Kicking soccer balls, fucking dancing in the street. It was unbelievable, mate.
Fuck, they bring a vibe. Incredible. Good on them.
And they brought thunder, like raucous thunder to the point it fucking pissed Joycey off.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah. That was the subject of a big boil over. That was a fascinating bit of gamesmanship and mate, just the right way to compete in my opinion. But the context of this heat, it was salivating. You've got Wilson, this warhorse battler family man,
dad bod
from a different era, an absolute freakish talent who's up there with the greats. Never was able to put it together in a world title winning year. Came second.
Took it all the way to the second last heat of the year. I mean, it was as close to reaching full potential as he got. He won the Pipe Masters that year too.
He's won Pipe. He's won Chopes. He's won where it counts. He's proved himself in the full range of conditions. And you just wonder, what may have been had he not been producing insane surf films. He reminds me a bit of Taj Burrow in terms of the career trajectory. Two of the most entertaining and most people's favourite surfers for their generation on the back of the films they were producing while trying to win world titles in parallel. And those two things don't seem to pan out very often. It's kind of a one or the other.
Geordie's in that category.
Totally. So good to see him back, man, at 36 now with all the emotional maturity, grit, will, determination, and a pure focus on competing. And fuck, he's a terrifying proposition, man.
Here's another thing. Gratitude, mate. Like, I just wonder how often in Joycey's life when he was a young, blonde, puka shell wearing superstar prodigy with, Nike throwing coin at him, Quickie throwing coin at him, like poster boy, superstar child fucking weapon. At what point are you feeling entitled? Like where does the entitlement stop and the gratitude begin when you're living in that world?
Yeah, it's the old Marvin Hagler quote about it gets hard to win a world title fight when you're waking up in silk sheets, and
exactly.
He was waking up in silk sheets for a long time there, Julian. And I tell you, the Steel City's been real fucking good for him down there at Newcastle, surrounded by aluminum smelters and the remnants of the 97 Newcastle Knights winning team. It's a fucking working class, absolute bastion. There's brutes and mutants on every street corner. It's Grit Merchant Central, and he reeks of the Steel City at this point.
He does, and he's so frothing. Like, dad life, mate. Dad life. Like, getting up in the morning, taking the kids to school, like... he's got young kids too, so there's a balancing act that has to go there. You can't just be about yourself when you've got 3 kids. So, unbelievable just watching his pathway through this event. Like, it was gratitude, it was stoke, it was like, but also, man, underlying it all, in the early round heats, when he got through that first round and into a man-on-man matchup with Idolo, the post-heat presser, he's like, this is what I'm waiting for. This is what I want. And I was going, how many guys on tour could honestly say they want to surf against Idolo in the round of 32? Like, I would argue no one. No one. Like, yeah, I reckon they'd be happy to surf against Idolo in a final, but no one wants him that early. And Jules is just like, run it straight, can't come at me.
Yeah, he actually drew him twice in 3 rounds. He had the hardest possible draw. Comes dead last in his first heat against Idolo, and local Lord Liam O'Brien gets the walkthrough in the elimination round when Callan doesn't show up due to childbirth. And then draws Idolo again, the world number 1 by a fucking country mile, and still, despite losing in early rounds, mate, the guy's fucking lead is insane. Like, the momentum he's on, and to take him down and get what is just a massive fucking confidence boost at that point. Like, holy shit! If you got a bit of head noise and a bit of chatter about whether I belong at this level, which he didn't seem to have, but that definitely quashed it.
Yeah, and also, like, he wanted those, like, he wanted the big guys. He didn't want, like, he was loving being the underdog. He loved, like, being the spoiler. And the cool thing was, the deeper he got, the more staunch that desire became. You know, he was going, this is starting to feel like mine now.
Absolutely. And
it fed beautifully into the final.
Didn't it? Where he draws the Dark Knight, Filipe Toledo, in his black hoodie, just looking like a villain from a Harry Potter book, surrounded by mohawked, jacked fucking Brazo henchmen. Like, the whole setup was that skits. There was this amazing image I've got in my mind just before the final where they're both in the athletes area, and there's this sideways view of Julian just drinking a fucking cup of Joe and dead set trembling with this like you know, here's Johnny style smirk where he's just flaring, and then in the background Toledo's with his fucking henchmen, like these skits, Brazos looking that staunch and blacked out, just a full Black Death Brazo. And I love the look on Julian's face. You know, there was all this energy going on around him, next to him. He's there on his own. He's got no henchmen. He's got no front, just pure grit and a deep knowingness of I'm going to fucking go all out at you, cunt. Like, you don't even know what's coming. Like, this is going to be 100% effort.
Yeah.
And that's what he gave. And that's a beautiful place to be as an athlete, knowing that no matter what happens in this final, I'm going to go all in. Like, I'm leaving nothing. And there's not a shed of confusion or distraction about what's about to unfold. Whether you win or lose, it doesn't really matter at that point, because you know you're going to be nothing but pure effort. Fuck, mate, he had dead set steam lines coming off him. I was loving the look of him in the lead up to this heat, and it did not disappoint.
Nah, it didn't. And I was on the beach, so the production team were like, get down the beach, we want to feel some of that energy. And I get down there. It is so sardine candid. It was fucking standing room only. Like, there was barely any space to move. The only way I could even get down there was this tiny little creek running through, like, the beach that you just couldn't stand in. And so I managed to get around to the front, and they did the cross, and the surf was cooking for the first 20 minutes of that final, man. Like, just non-stop, relentless lines just barreling down, and they were taking off up the point. They were taking off down the point. And the crowd was so up for it. They were going ballistic. You could hear crew up on the roof of the pavilion just banging the fucking timber up there. You could hear singing and screaming up the tip of the point. It was incredible, man. And they were just flaring. Like, for a moment there, it just felt like, wow, if the swell just keeps pumping, we could be in for one of the all-time great spectacles. And it really was. It really
was. Let's have a quick look at what unfolded. So, heat kicks off. Toledo drops an 8.33 for a pretty sick full rote, single maneuver. Like, setting the scale high there for a one-hitter, but it was mental. And the way he really whips it round through the end of the rotation to clear the foam and get the full rote is signature Toledo. Like, I don't know if anyone gets that extra bit of high-velocity rotation like he does. And then, it was interesting too. Like, there was a pretty big score differential with the judges on that wave. 2 gave it an 8, a flat 8. and 3 gave it an 8.5, comes in at an 8.33. And why I bring that up is because Julian drops an excellent number next with a pretty mediocre snap, followed by a down-the-line slob air reverse, not a full rote. 2 judges gave him the nod in that exchange. They gave him an 8.5 and an 8.3. But, yeah, moot point as we discussed. Both those scores are junked in the end. Toledo replaces the 8.33 with an 8.57, which... an 8.53 it was, for a filthy little runner cone into a psycho lip desecration.
That was sick.
Mate, his frontside power hack
that was
fucking peerless.
Straight out of that Margaret River year. Where remember, a bigger wave, but exactly the same intent. Just how hard can I actually rip into this seggy? It's a pretty wild turn in real life because the change of direction is so severe and so fucking quick. You almost expect to see his kneecaps just go ping and just fucking fly off over those.
Couple of pogs.
Fly up the surface. Just like, that's how, it seems beyond physics that you can go one way that quick and jam it back the other way. And the result is just a complete wave decimation. Like it's like an atom exploding at that point.
Yeah.
Mental tube too. Like, really high line, late entry, just chamber after chamber. That
was the one where we struggled to get into it, was it? And it kind of put him a bit deeper.
It wasn't a perfect wave, but it just kept giving him these more coverage. It was wild tube.
It's crazy the tube riding at that level.
Yeah.
If they can get a line in, they're just able to manufacture speed, punch through whatever. They're just so fucking good in waves of that height and thickness. Crazy stuff. And Ewing-esque in the kind of unbridled power and aggression of that turn. He had a few of them, man, in this event. Not all of them, cracked excellent scores. They were here and there dotted amongst his performance. But fuck, there was just a couple where he just drops the clutch, drops the hammer, and absolutely carves, cleaves waves in half. Mate, when he first cracked the tour, we used to talk about how insane his rail game was, the accuracy and speed is power at the end of the day. But he was such a fucking whippet then. Now he's thickened out. He's a proper nugget now. So there's just so much extra grunt in his turns. It's fucking proper psycho. The 8.53, and then he backs that up with a 9.07 for a big down carve into a crazy lip grind snap, digs the nose out for a make. Crazy to hit the lip that hard, grind the lip, carve kind of through the lip, and then still be able to jam the tail and pull the nose out of the water for a buttery make. As we mentioned, a bit of confusion around that wave, kind of missed by the broadcast. But, at the end of the day, Jules also had his opportunities. Straight after that wave, he falls inside a deep, thick runner that might have been the score. Hard to say what would have come after the tube, but his board almost makes the pit. So it was there to be had. He gets chewed up by the foam ball. As it is, he needs a 9.5 of around 15 on the clock. At 7 minutes, he goes berserk, a huge patented carve out of the top. Those big carves, the Jules carve, the Jules kind of S-turn out of the top was so sick. Pulls that big painted carve straight into a fin drift snap, straight into an air reverse, 3 perfectly linked turns. Super critical, powerful and progressive. He gets an 8.8 for that one with one judge throwing a 9 at it. Gives the Brazos on the headland the double bird as he spins out of the thin reverse too. That was fucking all time.
And then the fuse is lit.
Yeah, that reduces the requirement to an 8.81 for the lead. And it just goes fucking plutonium grade at this point, the final. With 5 on the clock, Jules blows up. He's coming home with a head of steam at this point. He's been copping half an hour of it. Just flagrant abuse from the Brazos position on the headland about 20 metres from the takeoff spot. How intimate is it?
You're so close, man. It's you're not struggling to hear individuals scream out proper burns. He can hear it all. And a few people were kind of confused as to who he was flipping off. It was people were going, oh, he's bummed at the scoring and all that. No, it was directly at the Brazilian sort of mass that had gathered right there because they were giving it to him.
Yeah, absolutely feeding it to him, which then ends up being the source of a huge spray that Wilson gives to Toledo, which, again, bit of confusion on the broadcast about that. We didn't know what it was about, but you can reveal, having spoken to the man himself.
So this will be interesting because you're going to speak to Jules tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll get this story right from the horse's mouth, but from Camp Wilson, right? So what I heard was that Joycey was having a go at Phil about the behaviour of the Brazilians, and he was fully fucking off it. And then if you watch the footage, because the one thing that was puzzling to me about whether it was a prior thing or whatever was like Filipe starts doing this sort of like submissive sort of explanation hand jive, like he's not fighting back. He's properly going, man. And what I heard was he was going, mate, I can't control that. Like, that's not my fault. I respect you. You've always been one of my favourite surfers. And he starts going into this kind of deeper space, like this space, because both these guys walked away from the tour for their families. And he starts going into and fuck, I hope Jules tells this story, man. But this is what I heard, is that he was going, I respect what you've done. I respect that you left. You've always been one of my favourite surfers. And at this point, Jules is so fucking steamed up that he puts his hand up, open face palm, as if, stop talking. I don't want to hear it. But what I heard after the fact was like it fully got to him. Like he was kind of like caught off guard by this vulnerable, crazy moment of admiration and truth in the thick of the pinnacle moment of how tense that battle was.
Totally.
Which to me, fuck, man. Like, I mean, what a crazy moment in sport. Like, it went so, it just pulled it out of this sort of proper battle into this beautiful little, like, moment of clarity and space where they were just two fucking dad bods going at it and looking for a moment of glory. But it fucking rattled Phil that he wasn't able to connect with Julian in that moment because he just basically fucking tries to hammer off down the point as quickly as he can.
Mate, that was the crazy thing about it. I love this strategy from Julian because, like, I can kind of relate to this, right? Like, playing in very heated local derbies in rugby league, like, for this team, the Maroubra Lions, against the Coogee Wombats, and
the Lions
having a fucking 100, 150 bra boys on the sidelines screaming at you, by name and whatever. And my whole take on that was like, they're gonna fucking feed me with energy, and I'm gonna take it out on you, cunt.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna, because of these guys spraying me, I'm gonna hurt you, and I would use that energy to fire me up and put it on other people, unsuspecting, completely innocent victims, as it were, as Toledo was in this situation. But at the end of the day, like, if you're going to cop that much grief from the fans, fucking don't let that grief get to you. Pass it on to the cunt you're against, who they're behind. Make him feel it. And that's what Julian did. And the strategy worked perfectly because he put that much heat on Toledo that he coughed up an almost inexplicable priority error where he basically took a wave to get the fuck away from him. Not really sure where this tirade was going to end. Opens up the door for Julian, who gets an absolute bomb the very next wave, and goes to town on it. Lights it up. I think it was that
wave was surfed in anger, man. He was bashing that lip. There was no turn cut short. It's just that it didn't have the big fireworks finale. It was sitting there for him. And to his credit, like, if you want to see an athlete at work, like Jules, even with that little moment of personal sort of pleading, I guess, from Toledo to sort of like understand his position in that moment, Jules just bookshelves it until the final herder. That's when he starts to process what's going on. Because at that stage, he's doing exactly what you said. He's taken all this frustration and anger and he fucking lets rip.
Yeah, and he's let the anger and the disrespect from the fans pass through him onto Toledo.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful piece of gamesmanship.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the way I want to see Australian surfers compete, man. It's in our culture to have a fucking crack at people and put them under the pump and shake their hand at the end of it. Like, the matey mate kind of style of competing, it's heartwarming at times, but at the end of the day, like, that's not the culture here. Like, if you look at any sport, whether it's boxing or UFC or rugby league, it's like fucking, we can be mates at the end of it. We'll shake hands and
But
get over it.
Jack Robbo's got that, man. Like, he's got it. But, like, I think even Ethan is guilty of just being on his own program too much. Like, he'll surf heats, and you're kind of going, there's not really a battle here. There's just Ethan either on or Ethan sitting around waiting for a wave for a score. Like, he's not engaged in that full-blown battle. And Ronnie made the point during the post-show, actually. He's like, hey, we haven't had a world champ since Mick Fanning. If you want to see what it takes, watch that heat. Like, that is the best example of getting up for it and not taking a single bit of shit or a backward step, man. What a fight. What a final, man.
Mate, it upgraded that final into a Hall of Fame kind of greatness category. That exchange of emotion. It was the final cherry on top of what was already an exceptional final, but then it just builds into this insane crescendo where Julian basically fucking staunches Toledo out of the takeoff spot, gets a bomb, opens with that signature quintessential JW bottom turn, snaps the shit out of the first section, fins out, straight into another bottom turn to fins out, snap combo, straight into a big 270-degree hook. And at this stage, it's fucking pandemonium on the beach. Like, they're about to start ripping the floorboards out of the froth bar and fucking setting them alight. Like, it's going that ham. Needed an 8.81 to take the lead. And you're thinking at this point, fuck me, this is right on the button.
Yeah.
Comes in short at an 8.40. I love how ballistic he went on the kick out. And that's where it stays for Julian. But an incredible final, man. One of the greats.
It was amazing. And, like, you know, the spectacle just kept on rolling too, Smithy. Like, it was funny, man. After that final, Filipe comes in. He's kind of relieved. It's all gone to plan, but he jumps on the back of the ski. The ski gets flipped mid-interview with Kaipo
best ever.
on the back. So pure comedy. He gets to the beach. You can't move. Like, he gets chaired all the way up to the stage. And, man, it was such a cool presentation. Like, we kind of got Joycey, after all the steam had left, you know, he was like, he made a real point to say, hey, you fuckers on the hill, like, you bring out something in me. I don't know what it is, but I really like it. And he said, thank you. He goes, I'm sorry I flipped you off, but thank you, because I love that feeling.
Oh, it's great, man. That's real sport. That's
that's right.
What we want out of surfing that we so seldom get, which is a stadium atmosphere. You know, that's what makes sport. Home crowd advantages, traveling fans, all of that. Like, it's what it's about. And yeah, sadly, we can't really manufacture that many stops on tour that have that. But Burleigh is one of them.
It is, man. It is.
And Brazil is the other.
And it was just sick. Like the amount of Brazilians that had come down to crowd out that headland, you should have heard them singing when Filipe hit the stage. Like, it was incredible. Like, proper psycho. You know, dancing, singing. He could barely get a speech out. They were just full voice, like Brazil had won the World Cup in the soccer or something. It was actually fucking amazing, man. And I think everyone was really just like, by that stage, just going, wow. Like, no one had on the point at least, there was no, even all night, no one the chat wasn't about the scores in the final anywhere. The chat was like, how sick was that comp?
No, well said. And the women's, for me, it was Erin Brooks and Steph Gilmore in, was that the quarters or the semis?
I think it might have even been pre-quarters. It might have been around to 16.
Incredible heat. Steph was...
quarters. Maybe it was quarters.
Yeah. Steph was amazing in this event.
So good.
Yeah, just that signature snap into the lip, arms abreast, able to just generate so much snap and whip and keep the flow going. Sick little tube rides. She put up a couple of sevens in this heat, like beautifully surfed point break waves, but ends up getting absolutely flogged by Erin. Fully comboed. Erin, pulls off a sick two-hitter for an 8.33 on her first wave. Like, as good a two-turn combo as has ever been seen backside in women's surfing. Like, fully upside down on the first one, vertical hit on a super steep bowl that's almost barreling. Just a remarkable fucking vicious vertical attack. It's crazy the wind up to accuracy where she can hang the board on vertical copings.
It's one of the great joys to watch, actually. Like, every time she took off, you were just going, wow. And actually, my takeaway from this event when it comes to Steph Gilmore is there's only 2 surfers on tour who can beat her on a right point, and that's Katie and Erin. There's no one else. Like, I'm frothing for Betty Lou for getting the win, frothing for Sally for making the final, but their surfing is a mile away from Steph Gilmore still. My favourite heat in the women's was both Katie Steph battles, because they were just like, you've got the greatest of all time, you've got the current world champion. Like, Katie doesn't seem to really have to try too hard to surf as good as she surfs, but she was clearly putting in the sting. Like, she said so. She was like, yeah, I tried my heart out in that. You could tell she was, man. She wanted it so bad, but the Queen just outlined her, really.
And sometimes it looks like, a full-grown, mature woman up against teenagers.
Yeah.
Or because that is actually what it is.
Yeah.
And Steph's just got that rangy, sinewy body type. She's a bigger body than those like lithe teenage competitors. And when she winds up and snaps it, it's a different sensation to any other surfer on tour. Like, she's still in a league of her own, and fuck, man, I really hope she goes back to tour life.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting, man. I think post Katie heats, she was probably thinking, filth, this is unreal. I've got this. But then Erin just going so turbo. Like, it's just, where are you at when you're trying to make a comeback and you get schooled by someone who you should be giving noogies and Cropex to?
Yeah.
But to your point, man, like, the biggest difference between Steph and Katie and Erin is that those girls just don't throw spray. Like, as fast as they are, as fucking sick as their surfing looks, even those big backside power hack punches that Erin does don't throw a lot of water around. Steph is moving chunks, dude. She's throwing sheets. So, yeah, something to watch there. But obviously those younger women are going to be powerful at some stage, you know. But the speed and the power of Erin Brooks is right there, like, far out. I don't know what more she can do. Funnily enough, Smithy, I saw Erin Brooks after the Prezzo just in civvies, civilian clothes, walking around with a bunch of girls, and dead set, mate. She looked like she'd have trouble getting on a ride at Dreamworld. Like, she just looks so young and tiny, and just like, she's barely there. There's nothing to these phenoms. It's crazy.
Totally. Best performance, for me, it was Julian Wilson. Won the trials in the Canter. We were down there for that. Dropped a big air reverse to take it out. And then did it the hard way in the big show. Hardest draw in the entire event. And got it done all the way to the final. Huge shout out to Toledo. Like, this was vintage feel. Produced 3 excellent heat totals and the full gamut of elite performance surfing. Tubes, crazy punts in both directions, full rote oops. But yeah, it was his rail surfing that really set me off. Just a reminder of how good this guy is on the face. Peerless, man. Just the accuracy, the aggression, and the displacement of water now with a thicker set feel on the scene. Fuck, it was good to watch, man.
Yeah, best, yeah. The whole contest was just about those two guys basically just heading for each other. Like, there was good performances from Geordie, good performance from Morgs. Kanoa was incredible, but it really just came down to, it's going to be those two in the final if all goes well. It's a 10-year reunion final. And, you kind of at the end of the day just went, fuck, what a cool thing that they both got there.
In the women, I had Sally Fitzgibbon, just a consummate and wily performance from a tour vet that many have counted out, but she's still there. She's still hanging tough. And you've just got to love the resilience and the self-belief to keep on pushing and, coming up with last-ditch, huge results. A fifth at Bells, now a runner-up here to put herself in the frame of making the cut. Still plenty of work to do at Margs, but yeah, she's the spirit animal of Australian surfing.
Yeah. We love her.
Oh, you got
She's ours. She's our Sal. And the longer her career goes, maybe the more we love what she's about and what she's doing, because she sums up just that never say die thing, and she loves doing it. She loves it, man. Like, this is her whole life. I don't think she's even considered for 1 second what the future looks like beyond the Rashi. It's cool.
So cool. Breakthrough performance. Betty Lou Secura-Johnson getting her first World Tour win, and it's been on the cards for a while. Had a runner-up to Molly Picklum last year at Sunset, a third at Pipe, the event before, where I reckon she was robbed blind. Like, fuck, she went so psycho on that big day. Pretty consistent this year, a pair of fifths in El Salvador and Bells, and now the event win. She used some really smart strategy to unsettle and pressure Vahine Fierro into an interference. And just got sick timing with those frontside snaps and carves. Great style, super sharp, accurate. Really nice to watch.
And in Camp Tommy Whitaker. So don't worry, mate. We lifted at least one trophy down there or up there at Burleigh. But I think that it's been really interesting watching Tommy and Snake and all those crew up close. Like, watching how they deal with athletes. Dog Marsh as well. Louis Egan's down there. So many Aussie coaches. But for Tommy, that was just so cool. And you kind of get to know these people sort of in the banter back room. But I met Shinobu, who's Betty Lou Sakura's mum.
Yeah.
And, mate, when she lost it, I was standing there just – it was impossible not to feel all the hard work, like all that fucking struggle and toil and the dream when it finally happens, just the sense of astonishment that goes through the camp. A real proud moment.
Yeah, she's a mad sensei, Shinobu. I heard her say something along the lines of, I just want my girl to be happy. I just want to see her happy. So it's really not about contest results or even professional surfing. It comes in deeper than that. And, fuck, man. She was pretty chuffed with winning that.
Hey, look at that. Look at the 4 finalists. All of them coming at this event with that kind of mindset. Julian looking at it like, this is just my opportunity. Phil going, fuck, I'm starting to feel good about myself and stoked I had that year off, not really thinking about the world title race. Sally, same thing. And then Betty Lou having that sort of aura from her coach and mum, just saying, mate, your processes are sweet. It's going to happen. Believe in that and enjoy the moment. Like, and somehow they still delivered these incredibly peak sporting moments on top of all that. There is the fucking cosmic zen in the art of war, my friend.
And you mentioned Tommy Whitaker and Snake. I was, fortunate enough to watch, half a day or a whole day of heats, basically in their company. And mate, they are just a couple of classic Australian sporting and surfing brains.
Yeah.
Like the competitive nous, the strategy, the way they're able to keep their athletes calm with banter and smiles. They're never taking shit too seriously. They're constantly bantering between each other, and you can tell their Kanoa in particular has just so much respect for Snake's take on things. And fuck, man, look at the surfing he's doing under Snake's tutelage. Interesting to watch Betty Lou come in after getting the interference on Vahine get the interference on Betty Lou and almost apologising, going, I didn't really perform that well there. I'll take the win. And Tommy Witt's going, what are you talking about, dude? That was masterful.
Perfect strategy.
Yeah, you managed the heat so well and drew an unforced error out of her. That's like great competitive surfing.
Yeah.
So yeah, those two guys bringing so much to their athletes, and unsurprising, seeing them like coaching Olympic teams and
masters, man.
Yeah, they are masters of the art. Who else we got? Yeah, Aleo Muniz. Fuck, mate. Incredible. I didn't think I'd see it. He's rocketed up the ratings.
Yeah.
12 places. I think he's now, above the cut line.
Yeah.
By some way.
Wow.
16th in the world.
It's going to be interesting, man, this cut. I'm tripped out on, like, if Margaret's gets big, I'm just curious to see how Halejo's style of surfing fits onto that canvas, because, like, in a short, punchy, steep, powerful right point, man, it is as custom-made for his style of surfing as you can get. Can he draw out the turns and have the same impact? I'll be interested to see. But, yeah, incredible performance. Much loved guy at the contest side. Like, you see crew sort of getting around on their own program. He's just Mr. Groovy backstage, getting on with everyone.
It's cool to see the Brazilians, how they support each other. You know, they're so laid back, but they're always there, like, to support, you know, Miguel Pupo, David Silva, Alejo. They've always got this kind of crew of the actual guys on tour and a couple of tight mates, and they don't carry on, they don't yell, like the Sousa's in the mix there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I dig their vibe, and you can just tell they are fucking so locked in. Their understanding of high performance surfing, judging, strategy, like it's all so next level. Like it's almost intimated, like not even spoken. They don't have to say anything. Like, yeah, their energy's so classic, man.
Yeah.
They're such a fucking interesting crew to observe in close quarters, and the dynamics between them. There's not a lot of theatrics and carry on.
Nah.
They're all so like, low key and laid back most of the time.
Yeah, you're right.
Pretty cool.
They definitely run in a pack back there. You know, you've got David Silva hanging out there. You got Miggy and Sammy hanging out. Like there's a full family vibe, and
and D'Souza's like the godfather of the scene.
D'Souza honestly walks around, mate, like the godfather. Like he is just Mr. Cool. Like
he's so respected. I mean,
it's radical. His energy is that on point. Like he just knows exactly who he is, what he's done. He's just there's no fucking dust on his shoulders, mate. He's all good.
And it's easy to forget, you know, Medina, I believe, won the first world titles for a Brazilian, but D'Souza was the guy who was the pointy end. Him and Jadson were the pointy end of the Brazilian storm, and they really laid that platform and created a level of self-belief amongst the Brazilian surfing fraternity that you can still see to this day. Like they are, like D'Souza and Jadson, for that matter, are considered, you know, like you said, the godfathers. Jadson's, I don't know what he's doing now, but so like, you know, he's
probably on the Changers, mate. We'll see him in Newcastle.
And we'd see the dynamic between Idolo and Jadson, you know, so much love and respect for Jaddy and that whole crew, that they love him so much. And D'Souza carries that similar energy. Biggest surprise, mate, for me, it was Julian's run. It's hard to really see that coming. We didn't have much of an idea of the kind of surfing he was doing, although I did hear a few little whispers about the fact that just going ballistic in some QE events and just absolutely smoking the next generation in very marginal conditions. So there was a little bit of form and a little bit of chatter about his run in, but fuck, I was not expecting this.
No, I wasn't. Biggest surprise for me was Jack Robbo just capitulating in fucking pretty decent waves. And in that heat, a few Swellians even were onto it. They were like, fuck, what did Jules say to Jack in that first round heat, you know, that put him into the elimination round? And he's like, it looked like chirp.
I thought it looked amicable.
It was. I
thought Julian said to him, I'm just going to sit up here.
Yeah, well, what he actually said was like, mate, get surfing. He was fully trying to ramp him up.
Wow.
Yeah, he was trying to coach him into a better headspace because he could tell that Robbo was a bit flustered.
Yeah, you know, like, although the conditions were good, those early rounds, it was a bit straight and gutless. Like, the swell hadn't properly filled in yet. It was glassy, but didn't yet have that kind of relentless energy. There wasn't heaps of opportunity. And it was almost identical conditions to that warm-up day where Jack was having real trouble. It was a bit straight too. Like, so I just don't think, like, straight, glassy, kind of gutless point break conditions are not something that he gets psyched on, and he kind of needs to be psyched on the cons to do well, it feels like. And Ewing also, an early round loss, super surprising given his form on Gold Coast and Queensland point breaks. Far out. You would have been backing him to go deep into this thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's work to be done here. There's a good lesson on the table from Julian Wilson on how we need to mongrel up a bit.
Pure melt. I actually had Jow Chunker against Geordie Smith. I watched this one live. I was sitting next to Jow's partner, Luana Silva, and even she was baffled by Jow's strategy in that heat. I remember sitting there watching just Nugs chuffing, and Jow sitting there with priority, not catching him. I think the previous heat might have been David Silva and Miguel Pupo, two Brazilian goofs, and their strategy was not to search for tubes.
Yeah.
It was all about turns, and maybe that leaked into Zhao's camp as well, where he just didn't see scoring potential in hollow waves, and it literally took Geordie to stuff one in his face under Zhao's priority for him to realise that, fuck, there's big scores in tubes out here, and he ended up getting his biggest score on a barrel, but fuck, he sat there for I feel like 5 to 10 minutes with tubes spitting all around him, not going.
Was that the heat where Geordie really let rip with the big claim? Did you cop that one? I think it might have been after that, actually, maybe a bit deeper in the draw. But there was a heat where Geordie finished a wave and did a full like it just and that was the most emotion I've seen from him in so long, man. Like that's a good sign. I like seeing that from Geordie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Pure melt for me was Pickles. Just can't believe it. Like, that comp was hers to take down, man. Like, just so frustrating. I don't know. It's almost like home should be her bread and butter, and it's almost a place where, what is it? What can you put it down to? I don't know.
Because
it happened last year. That's what I'm saying. There's form here.
There's just an inconsistency in her surfing that she's got to iron out. She, the writing was on the wall early for her. She put up one of the highest combined totals of the event.
She was ripping, bro.
Two back-to-back eights in her opening round heat, and the wheels.
The second heat was not much different. She had a couple of heats that were just so dominant. It's just it's a tricky one.
I actually had Sally Fitz for the pure melt in the final.
Yeah.
She went out with the strategy of doing aerial surfing, and I think she caught like freaking 13 waves without pulling a single punt, and that was just the wrong strategy. She missed a golden opportunity here to lean on her strengths. She's won multiple CT events. She's been in that occasion so many times. Her frontside snap, her end section, kapows have been peerless for two events. I thought, just build some pressure, get some scores on the board, and see what you can, if you can force a mistake from this vastly more inexperienced competitor.
It was a worrying sign when her first wave was a really good wave. It was heading for a decent score. A tap would have been completely sufficient to just add pressure. She goes for an air rev. It was madness.
Yeah, it was.
I remember just going like, "What are you doing? No, tappy, tap, tap."
Yeah,
just finish the wave and just slowly turn the screw, because that's what's going to bring a rookie finalist undone. Not that Betty Lou's a rookie or she had surfed another final, but it had been a little while, so the pressure's on Betty Lou to perform under that, not Sal.
Totally.
Yeah.
I really wonder where that strategy came from. I can see that, that is her point of difference, Sal. Maybe it's too much time in the HPC foam pit.
Oh, no! Get rid of the foam!
Thinking she's got punts on lock, but she definitely didn't, because she didn't stick a single one from memory, and basically handed victory to Betty Lou on a silver platter.
Yeah.
It was a melt.
Yeah, it was a big melt.
What does it all mean, Vaughan? It means the Margaret River Pro is upon us. You'll be there.
I'll be there.
And that also means it's cut time.
You cut.
We're going to get rid of some dead weight, and it's going to be an absolute death match at Margs. I'm not sure what the requirements are for each surfer exactly, but hovering around the cut line is everyone from Griffin to Crosby Colapinto.
Far out, can you believe that?
Griffin at 15th, Crosby down there at 27th. Haven't missed the past or the first two events, through injury. Liam O'Brien is just beneath the cut line at 23rd. Georgie Pitar at 24th. Arkell way down at 23rd. Jiao Chianka is just hanging in at 22nd. Our Cleland, 21st.
It's pretty much up to like 16 or 15. I don't even think you're safe there, because they were sort of letting people know that they'd made the cut in this event. And they were saying it about Phil Toledo and all that sort of crew. So.
Yeah, well, it looks like all the blue dots have qualified. So that means everyone from 11th, Rio Waida, down to
Danger.
Edgard Grogia at 34th.
Oh, Grogia.
Yeah, Grog Bogia. But It is going to be fucking compulsory viewing, man. It's going to be
big time.
so stressful down there.
Bring on the big closeout TPs at the end and that little run up the rocks. That's one of the all-time great shish
How
kebab.
bad do you want it? How bad do you want it?
Can you believe that section is what's going to decide whether your career keeps going or not? Just a fucking huge apexing TP that just has nothing on its mind but demolishing you.
And a barely submerged rock platform right in front of you. Unbelievable. And in the women, despite a fifth at Bells and run up at Burleigh, Sal still deep in Cutland at 15th. Breezer, Bella Kenworthy, Vahine Fierro and Lakey Peterson all below the cut line, needing results. At the other end of the draw, man, pretty fucking crazy, dude. Italo still first, despite back-to-back 17ths. And not just first, but 4,000 points in the league.
Still.
He's still fucking cantering, dude. Yargo in second. Who else we got? Geordie, the big man, in third. Resurgence, Geordie Smith. Couple of fifth places on the back of his win in El Salvador. Kanoa Igarashi, who's in probably the best form I really can remember since winning Crumis. Whatever that was, fucking 8 years ago or something. But he looks amazing. Ethan drops 3 spots to fifth, and I'll tell you, it's getting pretty worrisome for the bottom end of that top 5. Filipe Toledo, 6th place on the back of that. Rockets up 5 places. Jack Robbo in 7th. Mate, it's Toledo's gathering some storm, bit of a sleepy start. But, mate, Margs is a happy hunting ground for him.
Isn't he?
And, he's in form in the women's. Gabriella Bryan holds on to first. Yeah, she does. Her and Katie tied for first place, equal first. Molly in third. Isabella Nichols 4th. Tyler Wright 5th. Good to see. 3 Aussies still holding it down. Isabella Nichols, super impressive again in this event. Bring on Margs.
Bring it on. I've got a couple more rankings for you here, Smithy, because don't forget, we've got the Blitzed Pure Tour Nerdism Fantasy League well and truly cracking. We've had a fair few events without actually giving some updates. And because we have a $2,000 overall point score Billabong voucher, so the Boncron goes to the winner at the end of the year, but we also got prizes for whoever wins each event. So make sure you join up. If you haven't joined up yet, it's called Blitzed Pure Tour Nerdism. It's on the WSL Fantasy League. Come on in. Water's warm. But the Bonsoy Gold Coast Pro, guess who fucking took this thing out, mate? Are you kidding me? That's what the fucking handle is.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me, one?
Wow.
Yeah, he went mad. Took out he best out the Selby 76 and Lockstock. So that was your top 3, but only the cookies, biggies only go to Are You Kidding Me on this occasion. Bells, Beach, you'll love this one, mate. Gakman won Bells, which is fitting because there was no shortage of Gak getting around down there.
It's an old-fashioned Gak Fest.
It was a Gak Fest, so Gakman takes the spoils there.
Is he any relation to Frackman, Gakman?
I doubt it, but...
what about Spackman?
Yeah, he could be related to Crackman.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, but so Gakman got it done. He'll be licking the bag after that result.
He'll be ripping the bag and licking the bag.
He beat Team Liquid and Carl Rogers down at Bell. So Gakman, get in contact with us on the DMs and we'll get you that little Billabong prize. In El Salvador, mate, this is how far back we're going. It's been a long time. It was Benny Moe. So well played, Benny. Getting it done. Back in Geordie and Gabby in down there. Try and call me Nan came second. Smacked the lip come third. And Portugal. I actually met the winner of our Portugal blitzed point score up at Burleigh, the Chungu Mama.
Oh, yeah,
and she was devo that she didn't get a shout out. So Chungu Mama, big off to you for taking out Portugal. Big Azza in second, King of the North in third.
It is a chick, right?
It is.
Mama?
Yeah. She was there with, mate. Hubby escapes me. That's sorry, guys. It was a pleasure to meet you, but I was running around with me fucking, me Cafe Del Froth hat and me Stone and Wood fucking, whatever it was. Anyway, good to meet you guys.
This is the same Chungu Mama who was the innovator of the dick bottle openers in that part of the world. Is that correct?
I think so, mate. Yeah.
She's made a monster off it.
Carves them.
Built a villa out of it.
bravo to the trophy maker at the Gold Coast Pro for getting over to Bali and get a couple of those surfboards off the same stands.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that good? Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well played, Grandroom Times. So, yeah, what we've got here is that's right. Utah Get Me Too and Cardiff Crawl. They were our first winners. So
Magic.
If you haven't heard from me, just get in touch on the DMs. I'll get your contact details and send it out. Overall, though, Are You Kidding Me is leading the Swellian Fantasy League. Are you kidding me, Smithy?
Wow.
He's beaten out Rinsed Corn Rib in second. So the fucking crew are playing out pretty good. And languishing way down in 645th is your mate Vaughan Deadly, the fucking so-called expert, chirping away on the WSL broadcast. Can't get a fucking score to save me life.
Mate, you are an expert of nocturnal activities, though, and I do want the scoop on the great JW making his way home, contest rashy, absolutely, literally that blind. He couldn't even figure out the combination of his bike code.
Funnily enough, man, Joycey did ride his pushy home, as the great Nicker put on his socials, Nicker35. But that night was spotted, can confirm, was spotted out with Vaughan Deadly having a few bevies to celebrate the great dad bod performance from Filipe and Jules. So, Khan Joycey, hashtag Khan Joycey. Fuck, can we just do away with the Changers and give him a wild card to the CD?
Surely.
Like, what the fuck is that guy going to do languishing on that mid-range just grind to?
Yeah, well,
twos?
I think Rick Love put it perfectly, is that he belongs on the world tour, but he's got to find his way back there.
Yeah, true. Sage-like words from the great Rick Love. Wow.